So there's a dangerous new disease sweeping the Aquarius hobby. Empty tank syndrome. And of course, there's only one cure. New fish. So I was after some corridoras, but I was really unsure what I was going to get. Stick around, see what I got. And also, I'm going to lay down my quarantine process, the way I'm going to do it going forward from now on. First things first, acclimating a new fish. Stick that in there, just like that, to let the temperature reach what's in the tank. So while watching a good friend of mine's latest video about quarantine fish, I thought to myself, I need to do this better. Because in the past, I was in group 2 of his video. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But going forward, I wanted to improve my skills as a better fish keeper and do the best for the fish I possibly can. So I've decided to jump from group 2 to group 3. You'll see what I'm on about in that video there.
Everything's well lit, you don't see any fish that are sick at the store. All the tanks have no foam or anything at the bottom of them, everything.
And while conversing with Alex, came up with my own idea of how I would go forward quarantining my own fish. So you might be asking yourself, why bother? Well, in future, I'd like to go from this tank to that tank and move fish around. Now, if I'm coming from a level playing field where I know my fish haven't got these diseases, then I know it's safe just to take him, pop him in there without worrying. Totally messed that up there. Just released him into the tank without actually putting the camera on to record. From a lush angle, from within that tank, looking up, I missed it. Ah, the joys of YouTube. So you can see what I've went for. I went for bandits in the end. I was going to go for the skunk, but the skunk looked almost fully grown. And what's the point of that? The whole point of getting fish is to watch them grow up. So stick around and I'll show you the method I've chosen to quarantine these little bandits. Day 1 of quarantine. 24 hours purging the fish. It's also important at this time to give your fish a good inspection to see if there's any damage to them prior to adding the medication. So that's them fed. They're a bit reluctant, probably never had bloodworm before, but we'll come back and see how they get on. Next up, calculating the volume so we know how much medication to put in the tank. So to calculate the volume, it's length times width times depth. Shake well for a minute. If we check the pipette, that's 1 ml there. We want to go to that mark there. And be sure to add an extra aeration when you're medicating. There we go. Dropping on the bubbles. Now it does say in the instructions, if it goes cloudy, do a 50% water change daily until it's over. That's the wormer and fluke medication administered. 4 days of that. It says we can repeat after 4 days, but we're just going to give it the 4 days. That's 4 days of the worm and fluke. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a water change, put a biocarbon in over the air stone, and let the rest of the medication get drawn out of the water, fill it back up, and add the next medication. So whenever you get a new filter, you always get bags of carbon. I never use it, but I always do keep it just to strip medication out when I need it. So this next medication we're going to use is fungus and white spot. But we've want to calculate it down. Basically, it is 10 mils for a 200 litre tank every other day for 7 days. What we're going to do with this one, oh, it's more like methylene blue this, is take the 2 mil, add it to the tank every 2 days. So we'll repeat that every other day for 7 days. So here we are, day 8. So what we've done, we've treated the tank every other day for white spot and fungus. Now we're going to take that medicine out like we did before with the carbon bag and introduce the next medicine after a water change. Let's strip out the medicine for a bit. So the final one is bacteria, internal bacteria. That's what we're going to treat next. So the dosage is 10 mils to 50 litres. So what we have to do is we have to mix 10 millilitres with a litre of water and then add it to the tank. There you go. That's that mixed. Give it a stir. And then add it in. Whoop. Oh, take me bag of carbon out. No longer required. And pour. So that's the final medication within the tank. I'm going to dose it probably 2 to 3 times. It says up to a maximum of 4, but I'm going to do it 2 to 3 times as stated on this brand. Ooh, it's cold. So, it's the final day of quarantine. Time to get my little fish from the tank up here and put them in this one. But before I do that, I'd like to notice koi angelfish have laid some eggs on that little bit of slate that I put in there. Oh babies! So, 6 Cory bandits, fresh out of quarantine, being released. So that's it. That's my little quarantine process set in stone, how I'm going to continue from now on. And for £17, it hasn't really cost us that much to be on the safe side, has it really? £17, and I've got lots of medication there for all the new fish coming into my fish room. So there's no set in stone method of which one goes first, which one goes last when it comes to medication. Basically, you're going to have to just learn that yourself. You're going to examine the fish, see what looks like it needs to be treated first. If you can see signs of white spot, you're going to go for that one first, obviously. What else have I learned in this little process? I've learned that a little is better than nothing. You may as well give it a try. For £17, what have I lost? A couple of weeks in a quarantine tank. Yes, you've lost that initial excitement of putting them in the big tank, but that comes along, anticipation. Like most fish, they've disappeared straight in the back, but hopefully I will see them kicking around the tank and enjoying the tank. Now I know you're probably going to get a lot of advice of other people with what's the best medication. I'm no aficionado of medication, the only ones I've tried. But in my opinion, the best medication is the one you can get quickly from your local LFS in an emergency. Because 9 times out of 10, that's going to be why you need the medication for it in the first place. So I would always go for what you can get in a hurry. So that's why I went for these ones. I'm not saying these ones are the best ones, I'm not saying they're the worst ones, but always do your research. And everyone's going to have an opinion. Sometimes that opinion will be focused more on they are trying to sell you a product than it is the best. Simple as that. So always take that into consideration. Will I be doing this from now on? Yes, most definitely. It's been no hassle at all, to be quite honest. And I've actually got to see the fish themselves in a smaller tank and check them out, sort of thing, before I've actually put them in, which has been good. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you put little camouflage fish into a bigger tank, that's it. You never see them again. It's not like the albinos and they stick out like sore thumbs. Sometimes that's why they're camouflaged, so they can hide. And it takes a little bit of extra looking around your tank to find them. So if you've enjoyed this video, perhaps you'd like to give it a share. Who knows, you might be sharing it to someone else who will equally enjoy this video. So until next time, thanks for watching and ta-ra!